So once again, I welcome everyone to this wonderful session. Uh, I also request everyone to please follow our pages Cloud and Loud Technologies and Cloud and Loud IT Automation page. We have a lot of wonderful posts and insights about cloud and other digital security related posts. So we'll also have a lot of upcoming events that are being posted in the same Cloud and Loud Technologies page as well as Cloud and Loud IT Automation page. So if anybody has not followed it, kindly follow it. And I also welcome Yasmin for her wonderful time. And I hope you'll all enjoy this session. This is about Azure Fundamentals, where you'll be learning about all the basic foundation that you're supposed to be knowing in order to step into the Azure. So Yasmin, yes, the stage is yours and you can start your presentation. Thank you once again, everyone, for joining this session. Hope it's helping everyone in some way.
Yasmin, are you available? Please confirm me in the chat box. Hello, Yasmin.
Hi, hello everyone. Can you able to hear me now? Okay, excellent. So just a moment, I'm going to share my screen. So can you please confirm me in the chat whether you are able to hear me and see my screen? Okay, excellent. So hello everyone, my name is Yasmin Sheikh. Yeah, and I work with the 𝐀𝐙 Technology Solutions. First of all, I would like to welcome you all for the session joining me today. Thank you all. And also, first of all, I'd like to thank 𝐀𝐙-𝟐𝟎 for giving us this platform and an opportunity to perform our skills. So before going into the session, first of all, I would like to let you know that I know as you all are muted, so you can't unmute yourself and talk in the session. So if you feel that I'm going very fast or if I feel that I'm going very slow, please let me know through the comment section to the chat so that I can alter myself accordingly. And also if you get any queries in between, please make a note of it, so that you can ask me in the last during the question and answer sessions, or else you can ask me through the Cloud and Lot technical group. You can post your questions there so that we can discuss more with which other peoples also can be benefited. Okay, so thank you so much. So let's get into the topic now. So the topics today which we are going to see are some of the basics of cloud computing. First of all, we are going to see what is cloud computing, what are some of the benefits of them, and what is Microsoft Azure, and how there are some buzzwords which we are going to see that you need to know about before using the Microsoft Azure. Okay, so let's get into the topic. These are the topics which we are going to cover today. So first of all, what is cloud computing? To understand this in a better way, first of all, you need to know what is cloud. Cloud is nothing but, in a simple terminology, cloud is nothing but an internet which you are using in your day-to-day daily life. So now you can understand what is cloud computing. So cloud computing is nothing but an accessing the computing services through your internet. So accessing the computing services through your like the internet which you are using is called as a cloud computing. In other words, I can say that the delivery of the computing services through the internet, which includes IT infrastructure as well. So IT infrastructure is nothing but the hardware which any IT industry should be needed before starting their business. So the computing services along with the IT services like servers, databases, storage, networking, and much more, the delivery of those services to you through the internet is called as a cloud computing. So for example, let me tell you one example in here. So most of you know about Netflix. So once when you log into the Netflix, what you see? You will see many movies and many TV series. Everything is happening, right? So you can access those videos, you can access those movies, and you can watch them. But if you realize those movies and those TV series, everything, they are actually not stored in your local computer or on your local disk. So they are stored in somewhere in the world, but you are accessing them through the internet, and you are fulfilling your requirement, right? In the same way, not only those type of services. So there are some cloud providers who are providing these computing services. They have started providing the IT infrastructure as well, IT hardware as well. So it means like they have started providing the servers, databases, and many hardware services also through the internet for the easy access. So now, to understand this cloud computing in much better way, let us go through some of the other topics like understanding what is data center and what is CapEx and OpEx. So just a moment, sorry. Yeah, so what is data center? Data center is nothing but a physical space or a physical property that might be in your own building or that might be outside of your building, where you are building the infrastructure that is needed for your business, where you are going to keep all your IT infrastructure that you are going to use to start your business. That is called as a data center. So for explaining this data center, let me say, if I'm willing to start my own business, if I'm thinking to start my own company, let's say my company name is, let me say my company name is Y&T Technology Solutions. So if I would like to start my company, I need to either, so to start my company, I have an options of either building my own traditional data center, or I have an option of going by the cloud. Let's say if I have decided to go with the traditional data center, building my own traditional data center where I'm going to put my all hardware to start my business. So to build my data center, what I need first a physical property or a land somewhere that might be in my own office, or that might be in somewhere out of my office. But I need a property where I'm going to build my data center. Once I have bought my property, I need to buy lots of hardware, like lots of computers, which I'm going to use, where I can host my applications and the services, which I'm going to provide to the customers. So I need to buy all the hardware. So not along with those computers, I need to buy cables. I need to buy some of the racks to place those hardware, and also I need to buy most of the infrastructure to manage all these things, right? Along with this, I also need to invest on cooling system to maintain all this data center. Along with this, I need to invest on the power that all this hardware is going to consume. And along with this, I also need to invest on the persons who is going to install my data center and who is also going to maintain my data center as well. So along with this, I also need to worry about the security, because I don't want any unauthorized persons to access my data center. So I also need to pay for security, and I also need to invest on the security as well. So to start up my own business, to start up my own to build my own infrastructure, I need to I need to make an initial investment on all those things, even though I have not started my business yet. So the amount, the investment which I'm going to pay before starting my business, to start my business, is called as a CapEx. CapEx is nothing but a capital expenditure, or the capital expenses that you're going to bear to start your business. As of now, I have not started my business. I have just set up my own data center, where I have put all my hardware. I have installed cooling systems. I'm maintaining everything about my data center now. Okay, so once I have set up my data center successfully, from tomorrow, I'm going to start my business. Once I start my business, I need to manage the maintenance cost that is coming out of this data center. Along with this, I also need to pay for the employees who is going to work for my company. Along with this, I also need to pay the taxes once I started my business. And also I need to pay for the marketing purpose, for marketing my products and the services which I am going to offer to the customers, right? So to all the cost associated with managing and maintaining my business is called as a OPEX, which is nothing but the operational expenditure or the operational expenses that you are going to bear while running your business. So in simple terms, I can tell that any capital investment that you are going to bear before starting your business, to set up everything before you are starting your business, is called as a CapEx, capital expenditure. After starting your business, once you are into the business, to keep your business up and running, to keep your company up and going, you need to spend on some of the things. So all the expenses associated with them is called as a OPEX. Now, most of you would have heard about a few projects, which is like data center migration projects, and also few projects related to cloud transformation. Why do you think it is happening? Why do you think the data center transformations or the cloud transformations, the data center migrations or the cloud transformations is happening? Because, for example, I have built my own data center by spending a capital expenditure of, let's say, $100 million. Once I have set up my data center, I have invested this capital amount to start my business. Once I am into the business now, I am spending some like $20 million, which is the OPEX to maintain my business, to maintain my data center, to maintain the employees, for the marketing purposes, so everything. So this is the amount which I'm going to spend for the first year to keep my business going. In next year, I'm going to spend operational cost of around, like, say, $30 million. So, okay, as the year passes on, at certain point of time, you will realize that my operational cost would have reached around 50 millions or $60 million. So which is 50 to 60% of my initial investment, which I have made to start my business, which is 50 to 60% of the CapEx amount. Right? So at this point of time, any business should take a call whether to proceed with the data center or not. Because as you know that if you buy any new hardware from any vendor, let's say I have bought one new laptop from Dell or HP. So when I'm buying my new laptop, they will be providing me some warranty period for 3 to 5 years of warranty period. So during that warranty period, if any hardware issues is occurring, those hardware issues will be taken care by the vendor from whom I have bought my laptop, right? So once that warranty period is completed, so after that, if you are getting any issues, you have to spend by yourself. In the same way, while I am setting up my own data center, I have bought the new hardwares. I have bought multiple computers, a more number of computers from one vendor who is providing me some 5 years of warranty. So in that 5 years, I'm just mostly spending on my operational cost, and I'm just taking care of some of the maintenance costs that is associated with the data centers. But the majority of the failures that is coming in the hardware, everything will be taken care by the vendor from whom I have bought. So after 5 years, let's say the warranty period is completed. So now in the 6th year, I have to make a decision either to go by AMC, or I have to decide to go by product or part by part cost. What is AMC? AMC is nothing but an annual maintenance cost. So after your completion of your warranty period, you are going to pay some extra amount. You are going to pay some extra amount to the same vendor to maintain your business, to maintain your hardware for a few more years. So again, any hardware issues is coming in the future days, that will be taken care by the vendor because of this AMC agreement. But still, you have to pay some amount of money to get this annual maintenance cost for getting that agreement, right? So this is the one of the option, or else you have to go with part by part cost. What is part by part cost? I'm not giving any amount for the annual maintenance, but I'm going to replace or repair the hardware which is faulty. So I'm just going to replace or repair the hardware which is not working. So I'm going to spend only on that hardware which is not working. So after some days, if some other hardware is also not working, then I'm going to replace or repair that. If after some days some other hardware is not working, I'm going to pay for that. So these are the extra costs which are going to be associated with my operational cost to keep my business up and running after few years of completing this warranty period. So now, as being a business, as I'm spending more than $50 to $60 million, which is like 50 to 60% of my capex, which is the initial amount which I have invested to start my business. So at this point of time, I have to decide either to migrate to another new data center, or I have to decide to go with cloud. Let's say if I have decided to go with my building my new data center. At that point, so I'm getting a new data center where all the hardware, all the machines which I'm going to buy newly, again, I'm going to get a warranty period of some 3 to 5 years again. So during this period, again, I'm not going to worry about much on the hardware. I'm just going to concentrate on my operational expenses only. And also I'm going to get the advanced hardware which is available in the market at that time, because these are the hardwares which I have bought like say 10 years before. But after 10 years, you have got some advanced hardware, advanced technologies. So I'm going to buy the advanced hardware with again some 5 to 3 years of warranty period, so that I don't need to bother about now about the hardware maintenance cost. So at this point of time, this is one of the option, or else I can go with the second option, which is cloud. So if I have decided to go with cloud, then all the hassle that is related to installing the data centers, or all the hassle that is associated with maintaining the physical data centers by your own will be eliminated, because the cloud providers will be taking care of everything related to the data center, and setting up of your data centers, and setting up of the maintenance, everything they will be taking care. So you are not going to worry about the hardwares. You are not going to worry about the faulty devices that's going to come in the future. You are not worry about the power that is going to consume. You are not worry about the cooling systems that you need to be installed. You don't worry about the people who are going to maintain that. You don't worry about this security as well, because everything will be taken care by the cloud provider who is offering you those services. So as of now in the market, there are many cloud providers, as we know. So some of them are AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud, and IBM Cloud, and Oracle Cloud, and many more. So even though you have many cloud providers who are providing you these computing services, these top 3, AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud, are leading the industry nowadays. So this, for example, let's say Azure. So Azure is setting up these physical data centers in multiple regions across the globe. They are installing these servers, they are maintaining the racks, cables, cooling system, power, everything. They are setting up a huge number of data centers across the globe, and they are installing a strong, the high quality virtualization softwares on all the servers, so that they can offer you to use those hardware through the internet. So now, all the hassle related to the data centers have been eliminated. So now, if I have decided to go with the cloud platform, I can start my business very quickly when compared to setting up my own data center, right? Because if I want to go with the traditional data center, I need a time for buying all those hardware, for setting up all those hardware, so everything. But if I'm planning to go with the cloud provider, I just need to create an account with Azure or AWS, with which I am thinking to go with. So I just need to create an account, and just I need to get some subscription to use their resources. And once I'm done, I am ready to start my business. So with that, first of all, I am saving the time to start my business, and also I'm saving the money as well, because when compared to your own traditional data center, the amount of virtual machines for running the virtual machines is much more lesser, cheaper when you come going with the cloud compared to your own traditional data center. So as of now, I hope you have understood what is CapEx and what is OpEx, and what is the main benefit going with the cloud providers. Along with that, to understand this cloud computing in better way, let's go with some of the benefits. We'll see what the benefits, what are else the benefits this cloud computing is providing. For example, so this is all we have spoken about the CapEx and OpEx. So if you go through this slide, you will understand much better what are all the things I have explained about this CapEx and OpEx. Okay, so the CapEx is nothing but the capital expenditure you are going to spend before starting your business, and the operational expenditure, OpEx, is nothing but you are going to spend to keep your business up and running. Okay, so these are the things which I have explained now. So let's move to see some of the benefits of them. So honestly saying, there are many benefits. Sorry, so Rashmi, yeah. So this PPT, I think this PPT will be shared with you in the Cloud and Loud technical group. I hope so, Rashmi. So please check with there. Thank you. So coming to the benefits of the cloud computing, honestly saying, there are many benefits with the cloud computing, but to go with this cloud computing, first of all, I would like to tell you that whatever might be the important for me may not be important for you. So whatever might be the important for one person or one company requirement may not be important for another company, the same requirement, right? But still, we both agreed that there are some benefits that this cloud providing is offering, which is useful for me and for you as well. So let us see some of the general benefits which everyone agree that they are the markable benefits provided by the cloud computing platform. So first one is cost savings. So as you can see, you can save much amount when compared to setting up of your own data center with going with the cloud. Because for example, let me say I'm going with Azure. So Azure has a capability to build the data centers, to build their computers by themselves. They can build the hardware, they can configure the hardware, whichever they needed to build their data center by themselves. And also, as you know the economies of scale. Economies of scale is nothing but if you are buying any product in a huge amount or in by bulk, obviously the cost associated with it will be reduced. So Azure buying millions and millions of hardware to install in many data centers, so which I can't get by my own to set up my own data center. Right, and also they are buying the lands, or they are getting the lands for lease in the lower regional areas where the cost of the land is much cheaper. And also they are building the renewable energy resources, so that all the power that their data centers is going to consume will be like much cheaper when compared to the power actually they are going with. So by comparing all this, even though they are spending some amount of money in setting up their data center, the amount which they are going to the amount which they are offering me for the amount which they are offering me for setting up the virtual machine in their cloud platform is much cheaper when compared to the VM when I'm setting in my own traditional data center. Okay, so you can see the real cost savings, like real dollars per month. You can save real dollars per month. You can see the benefits immediately. And the another thing is you will be paying to those services as a pay-as-you-go model, like a consumption model. It means you are going to just pay for the services what you are using. For example, I'm using one virtual machine. Let's say for 1 hour I'm using it. So I am going to pay for this virtual machine only for that 1 hour. if I'm not using for next 2 hours, I'm going to turn it off, or I'm going to delete this virtual machine if I'm done. So I don't need to pay for that amount when this virtual machine is turned off. So like that, you are, for any resource, you are just going to pay as you use. So that is the main benefit of going with the any cloud platforms. So, and also you can save your money in the accounting part, because if you are running your own business, you need some accountants who will be checking all the all the money related activities. So if you are going with these cloud providers, they will be providing you some dashboard where you can view all the cost associated with your resources, and also they will give you some projections saying that how much you are going to use in the future, how much you need to pay by the end of this month for using those resources. They will be giving you some idea how much it will cost you by the end. So that is the main another benefit of going with this cloud platform, cloud providers. So this is related to the cost savings. Now let us move to our next benefit, which is agility. Agility is nothing but responding. It is an ability to respond to the market demand, or to respond to customer need. For example, I have provided my application, or I have hosted my application. After some days, customers are expecting something else. I need to try some new thing. I need to innovate some new thing related to my application. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to just start using one virtual machine. I'm going to take one virtual machine in the cloud platform, and I'm going to test that new application or the new changes which I am bringing. So I will just test here, and once I am done, I'm going to get rid of this virtual machine. So I'm going to just pay for that machine, for that hardware, for that machine, only for the time I have used to check my new thing, right? So if I'm going with my traditional data center, then for building or for trying new thing, if I need some extra servers, I need to order for extra machines. I need to wait until they arrive. I need to set up in my data center. Once everything is settled up, then I can try the things which I wanted to. And also, once I am done, I can't just remove that virtual machine from my data center. I can't remove that machine from my data center. So obviously, I am also going to pay for that maintenance as well. So with this cloud platform, I have an opportunity to use the resources whenever I want, and to delete the resources whenever I want. With this, I'm going to save much more money when compared to my data center. Okay, this is another benefit. Now let's see about availability. So availability, actually, to explain about this availability is a huge concept in the cloud computing world, but I'll try to make you understand in a simple words. So availability is nothing but, let's say if you have one data center set it up in Australia, and let's say it is your traditional data center which you have built by yourself. You're not going with the cloud. Let's say some power outage is happening like in the whole region. So, and let's say, or else some natural disaster is occurring. So because of this, your data center is going down. In that time, until everything is settled up, until again your data center is turned up and running, your customers will not be able to use your applications during that time, right? So with going with this cloud platform, what I can do is I can host my application in Australia, and also I'm hosting my application in India, and also I'm hosting my application in Europe, the regions where I want. So now let's say any natural disaster is happening or any power outage is happening in Australia. So still my customers will be able to access my application through the other regions. Let's say whichever might be the next nearest region to my customers, they will be able to utilize my application through that. So I can make the availability. So my server or my application will be available to the users at the maximum amount of time. So any cloud provider, it might be Azure or it might be AWS, whatever it may be, any cloud provider should promise you giving the availability of 99.99%, which means just 4 minutes of downtime per month. So obviously you are going to pay for high availability for hosting your applications at multiple regions. Obviously you are going to buy, but if your application is a critical application and your application needs to be up and running all the time, then obviously you have to pay for that. But any cloud provider, they are promising you 99.99% of your availability of your applications. Okay, so this is the benefit of availability. Now let us move to our next benefit, which is scalability. Scalability is nothing but scaling your infrastructure up when required and scaling down your infrastructure when required. For example, I have my application and some year-end sale is coming, some Christmas sale or New Year sale or Black Friday sale, something is coming. Or some celebrity has tweeted my application in Twitter. So at that time, I can expect more number of users trying to access my application, or more amount of traffic that is going to come to access my application. For example, if I'm going with now traditional data center, if something is happening, if some sale is coming, I have to, then I'm expecting more customers to access my server and to access my applications, right? So at that point of time, to manage that traffic, I should have resources like extra servers or extra resources and load balancers to manage the traffic that is coming during that high sale period, right? So if I'm buying some extra new resource, extra servers, everything, if I'm going to use these extra resources during the time of high sale or during the festive season, obviously after the festival season is completed, I'm going to turn off all these resources because I don't need to use it now, because now the traffic has come down again back to normal stage after this festive season is completed. So the extra resources which I have bought into my traditional data center is still going to be there. So I have been over provisioned than actually what I want. Right? Again, I can't sell this, I can't remove this data center because during again next year, again during the festive season, again I might be needed these extra servers to handle the traffic. So to avoid this, if I'm going with this cloud, I don't need to worry about provisioning my resources. So if I have an option in cloud saying that auto scaling, which means, so whenever there is a high amount of traffic or whenever there is a high user requests coming to access your application, then automatically these cloud providers will scale up your virtual machines, will scale up the servers, and with the help of load balancers, they will manage the traffic, they will divert the traffic to the new virtual machines which were created to handle all this traffic. Okay, so once this high traffic is settled down, once everything is coming back to the normal, so automatically these these extra provisioned virtual machines will be deleted, and we will be using only the resources which we were earlier in the earlier level. Right. So with this also, I'm saying much amount when coming to provisioning my infrastructure when in the part of using my infrastructure. Okay, this is also one of the benefit. Now let's go with global reach. So what is global reach? So as I said earlier, let's say my application is in Australia, and let's say I have potential customers in Europe. I have potential customers in America. For providing my application to them, either I might need to able to build my data center over here in Europe, and also I need to build a data center over here. So if I'm offering my services to multiple countries, I may need to able to build a data center, which is practically not possible. And also, either if that is not an option, I need to go with any third-party vendor who is already having a data center there, and with them I can host my applications there. But that third-party vendor is going to cost you more compared to your own data centers. But if you come to cloud, so if, for example, Azure, so when you are going to deploy your resource, you will be having an option to deploy your resource at any region which cloud is offering, which Azure is offering. So I can host my application in Australia now, I can host my application in Europe, I can host in America as well. So because of this, I can increase the speed that users is, the speed while users are trying to access my application. And also I can give them my application access with the low latency network, right? Because they are the request, whichever coming from the users from America, it will be going to this region and it will be served. If any users coming from around Europe, it will be coming to here and it will be served. Like so something like this. So let's say if I'm going to go with the traditional data center, my own data center, and also I'm not going to get any agreement with the third-party vendor, what is happening? So any customers in Europe or any customers in India, America, if they are trying to access my application, the traffic has to travel all the way to my data center in Australia, and it has to go back, right? So with this, when user is trying to open my application or when user is trying to access my web page, it will say loading, 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 please wait. So you can see that. Low speed when accessing the applications. I can see 𝐀𝐻-🗑🟎 has asked somehow, how could we calculate availability percentage if we combine multiple cloud provider examples? So Ritesh, can you please wait for until the question and answer session, or can we discuss can you post your question in the Cloud and Loud platform? Please, as we are running out of the time, I'm proceeding with the topics now. Please hold until the question and answer session, or you can post in the Cloud and Loud technical group. Okay, thank you. So, where am I? Okay, so we are talking about the global reach. So in the global reach, we are, if I am not hosting my application with the third-party vendor, all the traffic has to travel to Australia, where the customer can see much delay while accessing my application. It will say loading, and they have to wait for more time to access my application or to open my page, right? Obviously, sometimes when we try some application like banking application or something, whenever we type our username and password, we expect the page to open within a matter of seconds, right? We don't want to see that the app says loading, loading, please wait. And after some time, if it's not able to contact this data center, if the connection has broken down in somewhere in the middle, then obviously it will turn you like app not found or host not found or page cannot found, something like that. So to avoid all these issues, if you're going with the cloud platform, if you are posting your applications in those particular regions where your potential customers are, then you can serve them better when compared to your own traditional data center. Okay. So the next benefit is range of ready on demand services. So it is nothing but nowadays cloud is providing not only these services, they are providing much advanced technologies like machine learning, artificial intelligence, and IoT of things, Internet of Things, and also like data synapses, all those things. With these advanced technologies, you can just use these services, and with some basic configuration changes, you can just start using these services in your business. You can start using the artificial intelligence, the robotics in your business. You can implement them easily in your business with the already available services in the cloud platform. Okay, this is one of the other benefits. So the other benefit is range of tools. So range of tools is nothing but these cloud platforms are offering many number of programming languages, many number of operating systems, and many number of like wide variety of the tools that IT engineers or the IT professionals will be using. So whichever tool I feel comfortable, I can go with that. So whichever tool you feel comfortable, you can go with that. So we all have experience in working with the different tools, right? So that as it is offering all multiple variety of tools for the IT engineers, we can go with our choice of tool to implement our own solution. Okay, so that is also one of the benefit. So the last one is behind of the competition. So with all these facilities that is offered by these cloud platforms, with all these new innovation, so you can innovate any new things into your business within like a few days of time when compared to building in your own data center, right? So you can spin up any server within a matter of 10 minutes, and you can start testing your new innovation or your new product there. And you can, once you are done, you can delete it, and you can provide the new innovation or the new changes to the customers much early than possible, much early as possible, right? So that is also one of the benefits. So far we have seen few of the benefits with which like any IT industry, any organization, it's going to be benefited by using this cloud computing. Okay, so so let's see about so what this Gartner has told us in their analysis is. So Gartner is one of the research company. Sorry, something happening. Okay, so Gartner is one of the research company who is continuously monitoring the cloud services, and they are continuously monitoring the business that is associated with the cloud services. So as per the Gartner research analysis they have provided, we are expecting the market share of these cloud services is going to increase tremendously. As you can see, in the 2019, the total market share was around $243 billion. Whereas in 2020, it was around $270 billion. So as per these predictions, in 2022, we are expecting that many IT industries or the many IT companies is going to use these cloud services and going to move to these cloud technologies. So with which we can see the huge amount of spendings that are going to happen on this cloud servicing and the cloud services. So with this, we can understand this cloud technologies is going to really lead our IT future. So by this, we can understand how important this cloud services is going to be in the coming days, right? So these are some of the basics about the cloud computing and some of the benefits of them. So before going to our next topics and discussion, I would like to know whether if everyone is following me until now, if everyone has understood what I was trying to tell. So if you are okay with this, can you please chat me in the, sorry, can you please chat? Okay, thank you. Excellent. So now, as of now, let's move to our next topic. Thank you, Rashmi. So yeah. So now let's move to our next topic. So what is Microsoft? As of now, we have seen the commonly what is cloud computing. Now we are particularly going to see about Microsoft Azure and the words which we use in the Microsoft Azure world. Okay, so this Microsoft Azure is nothing but a cloud platform provided by the Microsoft, which has offerings of more than, which is offering more than 200 products and services for the businesses to solve their today's challenges and to create their future easily. You can develop your application, you can develop your services, you can deploy them onto the cloud, you can manage them, you can run them, and you can make accessible to the users much easily as possible with your choice of tools, as we have discussed earlier. So with your choice of tools and the frameworks, you can make your applications hosted in the cloud environment easily. So this Microsoft is offering more than 20 products and the services for you to complete your task in the IT world. Okay, so these are the main, these two are the main websites that to know about more about this Microsoft Azure, you need to go through. So this azuremicrosoft.com, if you go into this website, it will show you the geographical infrastructure that Azure Microsoft has so far, and also all the products and the services that they are offering. In the same way, the Azure portal, if you go into this portal.azure.com, you will be able to see the dashboard, and you will be able to start using, start creating the resources and start deploying them. Okay, we will be going to these links in at the end of the session, and I'll show you and I'll explain you what are the products and how we can see some of the things that is available in the portal Azure and this Azure Microsoft. Okay, so before getting into deep into this Microsoft Azure, I would like to share with you some of the commonalities and some of the differences that we have seen. We have in Azure and AWS world. So before going into these Azure terminologies, let us see differences between the AWS and Azure. So while I was searching in the internet, while I was, yes, Hafiz, I will, I'll share you the links in there. Thank you. Okay, so for seeing this AWS and Azure differences, when I was searching in the internet, when I was learning more data, so I have found one interesting fight in the Simply Learn website, where it was really interesting. They have mentioned the differences and the commonalities where Azure, the actual fight between the AWS and Azure is. So to understand their differences and the commonalities, let us first discuss about their origin, how they have started. So in the early 2000s, Amazon was forced to re-examine their developing platforms because they have started to partner with many third-party clients, and their infrastructure, their IT infrastructure was very messy. So that what was happening is the developers who is working for the Amazon, they were doing the task repeatedly, like whatever the task they have already completed, they were doing it again and again. So to remove that mess, to remove that the IT infrastructure complexities, they have been forced to create some well-documented APIs where they can organize their infrastructure. So once they have created that well-documented APIs and they have organized their infrastructure, in the early 2002, in one of the retreat, they have realized that now they have a capability to create their data centers and to manage the data centers so that they can provide the services to the others. So in the year 2002, Amazon has started providing the web services, AWS, Amazon Web Services, where they have built multiple data centers and they have started managing them as well. Within few years, in the year 2006, Amazon has also started to provide the IT infrastructure as a service as well. It means they have started providing these servers, databases, storage accounts, all this, the infrastructure that is needed for running any IT industry. They also have started providing these IT infrastructure services in the year 2006. So in the year 2006, when they have launched this IT infrastructure, so Microsoft was not in the picture. At that time, Microsoft was thinking that, okay, this is not going to run for a long time. Many companies not going to inherit them. So it's not like, it's not going to run for the more time. So just don't bother about it. So they were not interested at all. So after 2 years, in the year 2008, Google has launched their cloud platform. So now few of the companies started working with the AWS as they have found easy to manage their infrastructure, and they have found to start their start their business easily. So they have started working with the AWS. So now slowly the capital and the revenue of this Amazon was started increasing. So after that, in the year 2008, when Google also came into the picture, they also started providing some of the features in the cloud platform, and some of the companies also started using the Google Cloud. So now Microsoft got interested regarding this cloud platform. So now in the year 2010, Microsoft came into the picture of cloud platform. So Microsoft has launched its cloud platform Azure in the year 2010. Even though they have provided these, they have started their business very late when compared to the AWS. They have proved, they have got their mark. They have proved to be the bane to AWS because of the tremendous programming languages and tremendous operating systems and the different tools they were providing, which became like a favorite of many IT users because of the tools, the programming languages they have provided. As AWS was already into the market from so many years before the Microsoft Azure, they have already earned some capital, some revenue, with which they have started increasing their infrastructure massively, and also they have started providing the storage solutions with a very low data loss. So they have their own benefits. So they have started expanding their infrastructure, and they have started expanding their regions to serve more and more customers. So as Azure came into the picture at that point, very late when compared to the AWS, initially Azure was struggling to set up their infrastructure and to provide the stability over their infrastructure. Okay, so now let us see some of the just a moment, sorry. So now let us see some of the fight between them over the numbers they have got. So AWS has got, as of today, AWS has got 84 availability zones across 26 geographical locations. And also they are going to bring some 24 availability zones within 8 geographical regions in the future, in a very short period of time. Whereas when you see to the Azure already has 60 plus Azure regions across 140 countries. So as of now, they have only 7 regions which is having the availability zones. In some time, I will explain you what is regions and what are all these terms meant by. Okay, so they have only 7 regions where they have availability zones, but still they have 60 plus regions within 140 countries as of now. And when you come to the market share, AWS hold the 32% of the market share, the 32% of the total market share, whereas Azure holds the 90% of total market share. The famous brands that are using, that are partnered with these AWS is Netflix, Spotify, Airbnb, and much more. Whereas when you come to Azure, the famous brands that are using Azure is Rolls-Royce, HSBC, and Gecko, and because of this offering of multiple programming languages and multiple tools that IT users is using, with the analysis that has happened before 2 years, it was proved that almost 80% of the Fortune 500 companies started implementing Azure in their companies. Started using approximately 80% of the IT Fortune 500 companies started using Azure. Okay, so these are the fights among the numbers and the market share over both of them. Okay, now let us see what are their achievements. So, just a moment. So in the AWS has partnered with NASA, as you know. So for storing their images, for storing their videos, for storing their audios, which they are getting from the space, to store all those data, they need a huge amount of repositories, right? So AWS has provided them the huge amount of repositories to store all their data. And also with some legal agreements, they have released a few of the images and few of the videos to the public, so that we can watch the space which is very far away from us. Right? This was achievable with the AWS in the earlier days. Another achievement of the AWS was it has partnered with the People in Need company, which is like a non-profitable company. So People in Need in the year 2016, to monitor the floods across the region of Cambodia, they have partnered with the AWS to implement the solutions. They can provide the users there so that it will alert you whenever the floods is coming. Whenever the floods is happening in that area, and also that app will advise you where the nearest ground level is available, so that you can migrate before you are impacted with the floods. So because with these solutions, they have saved many people's lives in Cambodia. So this was one of the another achievement of AWS. Now coming to Azure. Azure has partnered with Azure with as it has a much appreciable Internet of Things services available with them. They have provided the solutions for creating a smart fridge. So they have created the smart fridge where many non-profitable like medicine industries have transferred their vaccines through this fridge to multiple geographical areas safely. So before that, they were not known whether they can be able to send the vaccine or the medicines they have to the other geographical areas, like they don't know what's happening with that medicine, right? So with these smart fridges, they were able to monitor the temperature in that fridge and the conditions of the vaccines, and they were able to send the vaccines to the other geographical areas safely. So this was one of the achievement of the Azure. The other achievement of Azure is they have partnered with Nelco Waters, which is one of the most important operational water unit in within Ecolab. So by partnering with this Nelco Water, they have monitored and they have done their analysis on data on the freshwater crisis that is happening in the world today. So they have with their various amount of technologies, data analytics technologies, they have monitored, they have analyzed, and they have provided the solutions how you can reuse or recycle your fresh water so that it will be available for our next generations. So that was another big achievement of Azure. So now let's see some of the pros and cons of both. So Azure has a high data transfer ability when compared to, AWS has high data transfer ability when compared to Azure. It can transfer your storage, or it can transfer your servers to other location with a very minimum amount of data loss when compared to the Azure. The other advantage of going with Azure is it has a massive infrastructure with which they can provide you the virtual machines or some of the resources at a cheaper cost when compared to the Azure. If you take some, say, 2 virtual CPUs and some 8 GB of RAM compute instance, then it's going to cost you around like 0.09 to US$. If the same compute instance, if you want to use with Azure, it will cost you approximately like 0.098 for some 4 or 3 something US$. So even though it's a small difference between them, but when you are buying a more, when you are spending on the more infrastructure, then it might be like important for you. Okay, so this is one of the advantages of Azure over the, AWS over the Azure. So now let's see Azure advantages over AWS. So Azure has, as Azure is, oh, sorry, just a moment. I'm facing the difficult. Okay, so the one of the main benefits of Azure over the AWS is the free subscription it is offering. If you are new to Azure, if you want to see the products and services that is provided by the Azure, then you can go and create an account with Azure. They are providing some popular services for 12 months, for free for 12 months. And also they are providing some services free for whole year. And also they are providing you a $200, which is valid for 1 month, to try any service of them. To try any service of them, you can use these $200 per 1 month. So you can test the applications or the products and the services that is provided by the Azure by using this amount which they are providing. But when you come to AWS is also offering you the free services. They are also offering you some of the popular services for 1 year, and also they are also providing you some of the services always free. Even though they are not providing you a $200 what the Azure is doing to try any service. But yes, they are offering you a free trial to try some of the services, but you will be able to use only those services which the AWS is offering you. It's not like you can go and try anything of your choice. So that is one of the advantage of the Azure. And the other advantage is, another main advantage is hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is, usually any cloud platform will have 3 types of cloud. Will provide you 3 types of cloud, like private cloud, the type of cloud, private cloud, public cloud, and hybrid cloud. So we are not going to discuss about those terms in detail now, but I'm going to tell you how the Azure is having the hand on delivering this hybrid cloud over the AWS when compared to the AWS. So if any, like say, like sensitive company like banking, any type of these banking companies, they cannot actually leak, or they cannot actually transfer their data over to the cloud platform. So at that point of time, you might need a hybrid cloud where you can save your data in your own data center, in your own on-premise data center, but even also you can use some of the services that is offered by Azure to achieve your deliverables as well. So with this AWS, the hybrid cloud is not that much open when compared to the Azure. So the people, like if any banking sector, some of the sensitive, who holds some of the sensitive data, if they are planning to go with AWS, they might need to be sometimes compromise with moving their data to the cloud platform. So that is the main advantage which Azure is providing. And also, as many of the data centers, while building as many of the IT organizations, while building their data centers, their own data centers, many of them have used the Microsoft systems. So as they have built up with the Microsoft systems, they have found very easy transforming their infrastructure over to the cloud with the Azure when compared to the AWS, because as Azure is also a Microsoft platform, and the systems they are having in their own premises is also a Microsoft systems. So they found very easy in transforming their infrastructure over to the cloud. Whereas even though the AWS is also offering your Microsoft infrastructure, it also offering a huge number of other infrastructure as well. For you to decide to go with which product, you have to go through you have to analyze many products, and you have to go through many products to decide to with the use of which you are going to transform your applications over to the cloud. So when compared to the Azure, when compared to the AWS, moving with the Azure is very easy if your data center was built up with Microsoft Azure. So these are some of the benefits over one another. So now let's move to the next slide. So whatever may be the differences or the commonalities we have seen so far with the AWS and Azure, the fight between them. So just a moment. I have seen the comment from 𝐀𝐙-𝟗𝟎🎎 Mumtaz. So I cannot understand the Azure pros as both are provisioning the hybrid. Yes, as even though both are provisioning the hybrid cloud, when compared the functionalities or the easiness the Azure is providing to the IT infrastructure to move to their cloud, I mean to combine their on-premises with the cloud is very compatible when compared to the AWS. Even though AWS is having offering the hybrid cloud, but they are not offering the services to run on their own on-premises as compared to the Azure cloud. I hope I answered your question. So then, so whatever it may be, the fight between the AWS and Azure is going on, we know that whoever lead the industry, it doesn't matter. But the main thing we need to keep in mind that these cloud technologies, these cloud providers are going to rule our IT industry in upcoming days. As the fight between these AWS and the Azure is going on and on in often some of the offerings they are providing, this nowadays the Google Cloud is also entering into the arena of providing entering into this fight. So they are also holding up to 7 to 8% of the market share with the multiple tremendous offerings they are also providing to the customers. So with the estimates of the analysis, they have done in the year of 2021, AWS was holding the total market share of 32%, whereas Microsoft Azure was holding the market share of 19%, whereas Google Cloud was handling the 7%, and all other cloud platforms which they are available in the market, they are all together holding 42% of the market share. If you see the total market share, only these 3 cloud providers are holding more than 58% of the total market share, total market amount. So with this, we can understand whatever it may be the cloud technology, as the cloud technologies are going to lead the future. If you want to survive in the IT industries for a long run, either you have to go learning any of these cloud technologies, so you will be rewarded accordingly. If you are ignoring to learn these cloud technologies, obviously you are going to be left behind. So it's completely on to you, depending on your company requirements and depending on your own the solutions you want to implement. It is up to you with which cloud platform you wanted to go with. So as every cloud platform has their own advantages and some pros and cons. So it's completely on to you with which you wanted to go. Okay. So I hope you all understood so far. So now, before going into in-depth of, so as of now, we have seen some of the commonalities and differences between the AWS and Azure. Now we are going in depth of seeing some of the buzzwords that is related to only Microsoft Azure. To start using the Microsoft Azure, you need to understand some of the terminologies which you are using there. So we are going to discuss some of them now. So before going in them, I just wanted to confirm if everyone is following me. Can you please confirm me in chat as you are able to understand what I'm trying to say? So excellent, thank you. So now let's see what, first of all, I'll go with all theoretical stuff related to these terminologies. Then I will log into the Azure portal and tell you how, and I will show you how we are using them in the portal. Okay, so now Azure region. As you know that Azure region is nothing but just a moment. Okay, so Azure region is nothing but a physical data center which Azure has built in some geographical area. For example, if Azure has built one data center in India, then it is called as a Azure region. So this part is called as a Azure region. So if Microsoft Azure has built their data center in Europe, then that region is called as one of the Azure region. So similarly like that, so in one particular region, there might be only one data center, or there might be multiple data centers separated in some distance, and they're having their own, like for example, let's take here the picture which I have posted here. It's Azure region, which is having, for example, like say 3 data centers in one region. So it is not necessary to be 3 or 4 or something. Even if they are having one data center in any geographical region in the globe, that is called as a Azure region. It is the physical space or the physical data center that Azure is maintaining. That is called as a Azure region. So in there are, as of now, so far there are 60 plus regions that are available in the Azure world across the 140 countries. So these, if you see these, there are multiple regions they have created there. They are hosted their data centers, which is available for the users to use. So these are the regions where they have the data centers. If you see here, these are the data centers which is already available now. And the circles with the dotted lines, these are the data centers which they are going to bring in the future, which the building of those data centers is in progress and which will be available for the customers very soon. And if you see that this blue with white dot, that is the regions which are having availability zones. Availability zones is nothing but a partition within the Azure regions where different data centers are built in each regions for more data resiliency. So I'm not going regarding the explanation of the Azure availability zones as of now. We will just talk about the Azure regions for now. So these are the Azure regions they have across all the 140 countries as of now. But if you see that there are some of the Azure regions like the US government and US like central, something like that, these are all the Azure regions that is prepared and maintained by the Azure government. So when you create an account in your Azure portal, usually when you go to select your Azure region, you will not be able to see these regions because that is like private regions only accessible by the US government persons who has gone through many screening procedures and many background verifications, all those things. Only the people who is working for the US government or the Air Force, only they are able to access their those regions. So these regions, some of these regions will not be available for you when you go and create an account. Similarly, like this, if you see some of the regions over in China, so in China, when you go and create your account, you will not be able to see some of these data centers as well. The regions which is present in China will not be listed to you because Microsoft doesn't have authority to manage and access those data center, those regions. There is a third-party vendor in China which is which is called as, I think, 21𝟎𝟎. This is the company name, who is managing the data centers and the regions over in China. So what Microsoft has done is Microsoft has just partnered with this 21𝟎𝟎 company and they have provided their services over these regions. So these China regions will be available only for the users who is working in China. So these regions will not be available for you when you go and create your account. So these are the regions, some of will not be available for you. This is about the regions. So I hope you understood. Now let's move to see what is Azure resource. Azure resource is nothing but instance of the Azure service, any service that you are creating for your own use. For example, Azure has one service, say it is offering you virtual machines. So Azure Virtual Machines is a service that Azure is offering you. But if you are creating one virtual machine, let's say VM1, for hosting any application, then this VM1 is called as one of the resource. So VM1 is one of the Azure resource. So if you are creating another virtual machine for hosting your second application, let's say VM2, so this is one of the resource. So any instance of the service that you are creating in the Azure portal to satisfy your needs is called as a resource. So the instance of any service that is provided by the Azure is called as a resource. So we have virtual machines, networks, and storage accounts. These are some of the examples of the Azure resources. So if you are creating one virtual network, VN1, then this is one resource. If you are creating another VN2, this is one resource. So these are the resources of in Azure portal, and the service that actually the VNet is the service that is provided for you by the Azure, and actually the virtual machines is the service that is provided by you by the Azure. Okay, so this is the Azure resource. So now let's see what is resource group. Resource group is nothing but the grouping of your Azure resources. It's a logical container. It's a logical container to group your resources in some meaningful way. Let's say I am handling some two applications, and I have created VM1 and VNet1, and I have some database DB1. All these resources are related to my application 1. In the same way, I am creating VM2, I'm creating VNet2 and DB2. These are all related to my application 2. So it means that if I don't have this resource group, or if I have all these resources at one place, then it will be difficult for me to understand which resource belongs to which application. So with this resource group, it's a logical container with which you can organize your resources in a group form so that you can access them easily. It's simply like arranging your files into the folders. If you have one folder, if you have another folder, if you are arranging your documents related to AWS here, if you are arranging your documents related to Azure here, then this is one of the resource group. This is one of the resource group, which is, and all the resources related to that will be placed inside. But one of the things you need to know about this resource group is it cannot be nested. It means that you cannot create one resource group within another resource group. You can just group all the resources you can just group all the resources in one group, but you can't actually create one resource group within the other resource group. Okay, so this is the usage of the resource group. We will see this in the Azure portal, how to create it and how to organize the resources within that. Okay, so now let's move to our next topic, which is Azure subscription. So Azure subscription is nothing but a billing unit against which all the cost that is associated with my resources will be billed against, will be charged against. For example, let's say if I'm handling 2 projects, I'm a project manager and I'm handling 2 projects. So the client 1 has given me his credit card for billing all the resources that is used for his applications or for that client. And another client, I have another client who has given his credit card for charging his resources. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a subscription, one subscription with this credit card, and also I'm going to create another subscription with this credit card, so any resources that is used in this first subscription will be charged against this credit card, and any resources that is used and which is associated with some cost, that will be charged against this credit card. So this is the usage of like subscription is mainly for billing your resources. So that is one of them. And when coming to the access levels, I might not be having like same level of access to all the subscriptions. I can have administrator access to this resource, to the subscription. I can have like just a reader access to the subscription. I can have just like consumer, like just the administrator access to this subscription, something like that. So the level of access to each subscription may differ, may not be same. Okay, depending on your role, you will be provided access to each subscription. And the other thing is there are 3 types of subscriptions you can choose. One is free, one is pay as you go, and one is members offer. To make you understand in this simple way, for example, let's say if you are buying some new SIM card. So if you are buying new SIM card, then so if you are buying your new SIM card, then you will be given some amount of GB, amount of data, or some calling, free calling over some one period, like 1 month or 2 months. So in the first 2 months or in the first 1 month, you're not going to pay anything. You're just going to use that free amount of data or the calling services they have provided to you when you have bought some new SIM card, right? Once you have finished that 1 month, then you have to decide to either go with postpaid, or either you have to decide to go with prepaid, right? Either you have to recharge first and start using the services, or else you have to go with postpaid. First, you will use all the services for that month, and then the last you will be charged for that, and you are going to pay for that, right? In the same way, subscription is also having 3 types. The free subscription, when you log in, when you get some, when you just taking the account for the first time as a new user, you will be getting some free services. After your free subscription is finished, you either has to go by pay as you go or the member offers. Pay as you go is like a postpaid. You will be using any n number of services you want, and at the end of the month, you are going to be charged for that, and you are going to pay for that. And the members offer is something like a prepaid. You are going to fix some amount of money, like $500 or $600. After that, you are going to use the resources. Once that amount is reached, the services will be halted. Again, then you have to go with the pay as you go or the members office to continue the services. So these are the subscription types you have to choose with. Okay. Now let's see the next topic. Management group. So management group is nothing but, in a simple way, it's nothing but a logical container where you can place all your subscriptions to apply your company's governance policies or any compliance that needs to be applicable, that need to be followed. That is called as a management group. For example, let's say I have multiple subscriptions over here. I have they are organized under the management groups. So let's say if I am applying some company policy, if I'm deciding that none of my resources or none of my users can create a virtual machine more than like 8 GB of RAM. So I'm going to apply that condition over here. So once I apply that condition over here, it will be applicable to all the other management groups, all the other subscriptions and all the resources beneath it. Then no user will be able to create the resource more than that. So something like that. And if you are applying some condition like no user can create their resource in particular region, if you are applying that condition over here, then that policy will be applicable to all the subscriptions and the management groups beneath it, and no user will be able to create their resources in that region. So to manage all these your subscriptions and your company policies, what you want to go with, these management groups will be useful. And these management groups is like nested. You can create one management group within another management group. For example, if I want something that needs to be applicable only to the dev and test team, only to the infrastructure team, or only to the application team, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply my policies to that management group alone, which will be inherited by the subscriptions beneath it. If I want to apply some conditions for all infrastructure, then I will be doing in my root user, in the root group, right? In the same way, if I'm going to create some new subscription in the future, so in the infrastructure team, the new subscription will automatically inherit all the policies that has been set by this parent group. This management group is like a single hierarchy. Single hierarchy is nothing but any subscription on any management group can have only one parent. So it means it will listen to the parent of it. So it will listen only to the one parent. This is called as a single hierarchy. If you're dual, we have another option called dual hierarchy. Dual hierarchy is something like you will have another parent. So the resource beneath this has to listen to both of them. So something that is called as a dual hierarchy. So as of now, the management group which we have in this Azure it is a single hierarchy. It means that any management group or the subscription below it will have one parent group which they need to be agreeing with the policies that is applicable to that management group. Okay, so when coming to the hierarchy, if you want to see the resources in the Azure, so first of all, you are creating all the resources that will be grouped in the resource groups depending on your different types of applications you have, and again that will be categorized under different subscriptions based on the clients or based on the projects you have, and everything is managed by the management groups at the last. So this is the hierarchy that is that is available with the Microsoft Azure that you have to be remembering of. Okay, so this is the theoretical concept which we have seen so far regarding the resources and resource group and what is subscriptions and what are the role of the management groups. So now we are going to go into the portal and we will see how it's actually created or how it is used. Okay. So let me stop here as of now. So I'm going back here. So please let me know if you are if you have understood what I have told so far. Thank you. So I'm going into the website now, azure.microsoft.com. So in this azure.microsoft.com, which I have showed you the two links when I was explaining about what is Microsoft Azure, right? In that the first one was azure.microsoft.com. If you go into this azure.microsoft.com, you can see there are multiple options here. So if you are if you are going into the products, you can see all the products and that has been provided by this Azure platform. You can see all the products over here, and there are different categories which they are offering. There are some compute services, there are some container services, there are some database services. All the services that has been, all the products and the services that is offered by the Microsoft Azure, you can see here. Okay, so if you go into the Explore, if you want to see the global infrastructure of the Azure that they are maintaining around the globe, if you want to see the live of that, you can go into this view option and then explore the globe. So if you click on that, explore the globe. So if you click on the explore the globe, just skip the intro. So if you can see here, so these are the data centers that is created and managed by the Microsoft Azure all over the world. You can see all this. These are the regions where they have their data centers available, which is available for the users. This is the live data, and so you can see the different countries over here and the Azure regions that are available in those countries. So everything between them, the connections between them, everything you can see here in the global infrastructure in the azure.microsoft.com. Okay, now I will show you how to create the free account, and also we will see how to create few of the resources within that. Okay, so now I'm going with portal.azure.com. So for creating the account with the Microsoft Azure, you should either have a Microsoft account to log in into that, or else you can create one by clicking on the create one and create new account. So you can just give your Gmail, and next, if you click on next, you will be So if you give next, you will be asked for giving a password, and next you will be asked for solve the puzzle to go with. Once you have done, new Microsoft account will be created. Okay, so as I have created the Microsoft account earlier, I'm just going to log in with my already available credentials. Okay, so now once you have created your Microsoft account, you can log in into your account. So as I have already created it, so it's asking me to enter the password. Just a moment. It's asking me to type my Gmail. My secret code was. So now, as I have already created my Microsoft account, I was able to log in. I am able to log in into the Microsoft portal. So this is the Azure portal. So now, if you see the left 3 lines, if you click on that, you can see the home page, which is available now here. The another one is you can see the dashboards, which is some of the customized dashboards. If you are setting up for your projects, you can view those dashboards here. And in the all services, you can see all the services that Microsoft Azure is offering you. Okay, and these are the favorites that you can choose whichever you want to pin for the easy access. If you want to just, so this is the star. If you are just clicking the star, that will be added here among your favorites so that you can access them easily. And in the search bar, you can search for any resource or any service that you wanted to use. You can just type few of the words that will be available for you. Okay, and also this is the Cloud Shell. So Cloud Shell is nothing but a command line interface, which you can use to create your resources or to manage your resources, either by using the Bash scripting or either by using the PowerShell scripting. Okay, so you can use anything of your choice. The other one is directories and the subscriptions. It will show you the directories. So I will show these options in the account I have created. First of all, let's go to the home page. Let's see how to create the free account. Okay, so once you have created the Microsoft accounts, once you have logged into this Azure portal, then you have an option to start an Azure free trial, where you will be given some $200 to try any service of any Azure service. Right? So let's click on start. So once you click on start, you will be asked to enter few of the details, like your region and your name, first name, last name, and some of the, so let me show you. Sorry. So you will be asked to enter a few of the details here, like as I have already created, I can just directly sign up. But when you log in for the first time, it will ask you to enter your first name, last name, and your credit card details to identify that you are a genuine user, and also your home address and your phone number, so that to get the updates and for getting these security passwords, all those things for logging in. Okay, as you can see here, there are some of the popular services they are providing for the 12 months. There are 40 plus services that are always free, and they are also providing you $200 USD to try in first 30 days to try any service that is provided by the Azure. Okay, so once you have filled up and once you have given your credit card and once you have filled up your details, then you will be logged in into the Azure portal with free subscription. Okay, let me go back and Change my credentials. Sign in. So this is the account which I have created for with the free subscription. So once I have logged in, if you can see, this is the subscription which I have already which I have got the free subscription already with this account, with this Microsoft account. So that when I am logging in here, the previous, it was showing like start with the free subscription or start with the pay-as-you-go model. That page is not displayed yet because already I have chosen one subscription and I have logged in with that subscription, right? So now here the directories are, if you go and click in this icon, it will show you all the directories and the subscriptions you are in. Right, you are under, I am under the default directory and I have one Azure subscription. So one free subscription I have subscribed now. So that is shown as Azure, its name is Azure subscription one. So these are the subscriptions I have and these are the directories that is available. So I can see that from here. Okay, so you can receive any notifications while you are deploying any resources or you are using any resources. Your all updates will be, I mean, all your notifications will be, you will be getting here. For example, you can see the amount which is remaining. As I'm in Australia and I have, this is showing as a 275 Australian dollars. In Australian dollar. So I have a full amount of credit remaining so that I can start using any services for the next 30 days. Okay. So this is, and also in the settings, you also can go to the appearance and startup views and can change your themes and you can change your how you want your dashboard to be look like, something like if you want a black color, if you want the icons on the left side, something like that. You can arrange your dashboard with the options you have over here from the settings option available over here. Okay, so if you want any support, you can contact by this help icon. And also if you want to give any feedback regarding any service or any product, you can give here. Okay. So now you can, as you can see, I am having one subscription, that is Azure subscription one. This golden key symbol indicates the subscription. So if you can see here, this subscription, any subscription will be indicated by this golden key. Okay, so I have one subscription, which is Azure free subscription. So it is showing here under the resources. For example, if I'm going to create one resource, so I'm having the option of create a resource here, or I can just type here the resource which I want to create. So before creating any resource, I want to create a resource group, let's say, where I'm going to place my resource. So resource groups, if I go into this resource group, I'm having an option where it would say create. So if I click on that, so it is asking me to choose the subscription. As I am having only one subscription, I'm selecting that by default. I can give some name. Let's say I'm giving it as a test one. Okay, and it is asking me to select the region where, in which data center, I mean in which region I wanted to create my resource group, where I'm going to place my resources. So it is ideal to create your resources in the resource group in one region, because you're going to, you can either select the different resource group while creating the resources, but it is ideal to go with the same region because everything will be created at one place. It's completely up to you. So I have given one name and I'm choosing East US, or I'm changing it to Australia as it is a near region for me. So let's say, let me select Australia Central. So I can change any region where I wanted to host create this resource group. Once I'm done, I can just click on review and create. Yes, create. So now my resource group is created. Go to the resource group. If I go into the resource group, I can see there are no resources actually within my group because I have just created the resource group. There are no resources available here. Now let me go back to my home page. So now if you see under the resources, I have a subscription, free subscription, and one resource group I have that created test one. Now let me go and create one any resource. Let's say I'm trying to create one virtual machine. So I'm going to select virtual machine. This page will be open, and then I'm going to click on create virtual machine. Yes. So once you click on that, again, you will be asked to choose the subscription. So whichever the subscription you are going to choose over here, any cost associated with using this virtual machine will be charged against the subscription you have selected. Okay, so again, you can choose the resource group under which you want to create this resource. As I have a test one already created, I can use that, or I can just click on create new and create a new resource group as well. But I'm going to use, as of now, the test one, which I have already created. And I just need to give some virtual machine name, and I need to select the region where I wanted to keep this virtual machine. As I told you, it is ideal to go with the region where you have already created the resource group, but it's completely up to you. If you want to change, you can change as well. Okay, so these are some of the options, but as of I don't have time to explain about all those details. So if you want, so to show this, especially this region and the subscription and the resource group, whichever you are selecting, let me create one virtual machine for you. Let's say VM1, and I'm just going to with some already available. Okay. So this is the username and password which will be needed to log into this virtual machine and the machine while I'm logging in. Okay, so I can select any options. As of now, I'm just creating a basic one. So just create. So now if you go into the notification, you can see that initiating deployment. Deployment is in progress. So the creation of the virtual machine is in progress now. You don't need to wait for that. You can come back to the home and you can work on some other things. Once it is done, it will be notified you over here once your deployment is made. Okay, so now let's wait for 2 minutes until the deployment is completed. So the cost associated with creating any resource is complete. It's depending on the regions as well, because in one region the cost of the same virtual machine might be different, and in another region the cost of the same virtual machine might be different. It is completely up to you in which region you wanted to create based on your business requirement. Okay, so now my VM has created. Now if I go to the resource, so this is the VM I have created now. So now if I go to the home page, so these are the resources I have. If I go into the resource group now, you can see that the virtual one, the VNet, all those things, these are the resources that I have created while creating this virtual machine. And all these resources are placed under this test one resource group. All these are placed in this test one. If I have some other applications or I have some other resources, then I might be creating another resource group and I will be placing in that. Okay, so these are the so now all these resources are created under this resource group. All the different types of resources are created under the subscription which I have chosen now under the free subscription. So any cost that is associated with these any products, any resources will be charged against my $200 of free trial as of now. Okay, so if you want to see the management groups as well, if you go here, So in the management group, we are having one, this is the root management group. I am having one subscription. So any policies that is applied for this management group will be directly inherited by my subscription, which I have created over here. So like this, you can manage your own company policies, whichever you want to applicable, or else if you want to try the policies which Azure is offering, you can type some, again, I think the policies, then there are some firewall policies or server endpoint policies. You can just apply that to the resource, to the management group which you are creating, so that those policies will be inherited by the subscriptions or the resources you are creating under that. So sorry for taking a long time for completing the session. I think we have crossed the time we have allocated, and sorry for that, and thanks for bearing with me for an extra time. So now, so I think I have covered all the topics which I wanted to say today. So please stay tuned for more sessions that I'm going to take in the future. I'm going to take some of the sessions on I'm also going to take some of the sessions on how to create some of the use cases, how you can try a few of the things with using your own Microsoft Azure, so that you can, if you are going for any interview purposes of if you're trying to go for another new role, you can tell them that you have experience on Microsoft Azure by practicing all those POCs and all those use cases with in your own laptop, in your own POC. Okay, so I'm going to present some of these sessions in the upcoming days. Once it is decided, probably we will be hosting the dates that will be on when the sessions will be taken. So in the Cloud and Loud platform, so you can refer there, or you can stay tuned with the Cloud and Loud so that you can get more updates on the sessions that we are going to take. Okay, thank you. So I think we have taken more time, so I don't know. How do we decide how many tenants? So, Sridhar, Aarti, can you please take the control or stop the recording if you want? Thank you so much for everyone for joining today's session. So I hope you are liking my presentation, and yeah, I'm looking forward for you all for my next sessions as well. So Aarti, can you stop the recording? Or can you take the session?
Yeah, okay. I'm just stopping the recording. Yeah, thank you everyone for attending this session.
Or Sridhar?
Yeah. Yeah, Sridhar there.
Yeah, thank you all for your feedback. I can see many of them you are posting in the chats. Thank you so much.
You all can follow that group and the page so that you can get the updates regarding the event. I will post you the link in the chat.
So